Stephen Washington guilty of all counts. The question now is, did the jury get it right? Because his lawyers still saying he didn't do it. Joining me now, Reggie Garcia, civil rights, clemency, and criminal attorney, and Barry Morgan, who's a prosecutor. Thank you both for being here. It's been a little hectic. You know, you got to hear from all the lawyers in the case, and you're really getting a up-close glimpse of what it is like post-verdict from an outsider's perspective, because you guys are usually the ones in it trying the cases. Do you think the jury got it right? Barry?
I do. I think the evidence pointed to Mr. Washington, and I think especially with that powerful closing argument that the prosecutor made, I think he laid it out in terms that a jury can understand really well.
You know, I want to add, and I didn't mention this before, but it's interesting because a lot of times, especially here on Court TV, when we see prosecutors who do their initial closing and then their rebuttal, the rebuttal's always better. But in this case, they were both like equally just completely out of this world. But Reggie, do you think, is there anything the defense could have done differently that would have changed this verdict?
Well, it would have been a big gamble, but we talked earlier, you know, if you're unfairly accused of murder, you get on the stand and you say, I didn't do it, I wasn't there. But I think the jury respectfully did get it wrong. I think earlier testimony was Ivan Keener had 5 to 8 shots of vodka before he went to the bar, beer at the bar, and was stoned. It's been a while since I've done all of that. That's a big buzz, and I think he's the only one that puts the gun in Mr. Washington's hand and is the material fact witness that we're now going to send somebody away potentially for life for.
And it's interesting, he actually didn't put the gun in his hand at trial, but insinuated that the gun was in his hand, for sure. Do you think there's something the defense could have done to change this?
I don't know. I mean, given the circumstantial evidence out there, at least one of the witnesses saying that it was a young man with dreadlocks and a tattoo under his eye.
Well, let me say it this way. Should they have picked one defense?
Oh, yes. Absolutely.
So that could have helped.
Yes, yes, and you know, it's easy to armchair quarterback, you know, later on, but I
that's
think,
literally my job.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I think the self-defense argument may have, or defense of others may have been a better defense, but you know, they're good defense attorneys as well, and they had what they had to work with, and they made the best of it.
Yeah, no, it's a terrible case all around, but it's hard to reconcile when you had so much outside evidence. So it wasn't just other testimony that Isai Barones may have lunged at Washington or had a weapon or had 2 weapons, but you have those weapons that came into evidence. That scissors came into evidence, the pocket knife came into evidence. So it's hard to reconcile all of that. But okay, so we have to take a break now, but our coverage of Michigan versus Washington continues right after this.